Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
And welcome back to another episode of the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast. It's your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger here, and I have a great guest with me here. I was introduced to Alicia just earlier this week, I think, or maybe a couple weeks ago, last week maybe, by one of the previous guests. So if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, if you remember, Tanya Janke was one of the interviews I did a bit back, and she introduced me to Alicia because she said, oh my gosh, you have got to talk to Alicia. So let me tell you about her. Alicia is a focused and driven entrepreneur who has found great purpose with her Juice Plus business. She loves providing a convenient solution for getting in more raw fruits and vegetables, and also leading women in how to become professionals in the direct sales industry. Outside of this passion, Alicia loves to garden where she grows flowers and vegetables. She trail rides her horses and can be found being active through outdoor running and CrossFit training. She and her husband, Jason, have two sons, Dane, who is 4, and Brock, who is 2, and they are always ready for tractor riding and agate hunting. Oh, is that rock hunting?
It is. Yes, they're super pretty. We kind of I think it's called the superior agate. And we just got a rock tumbler, and it is amazing to see the transformation that these rocks go through, the agates go through.
Oh, that is so cool. Well, welcome to the show, Alicia.
Thank you, Jennie. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I really need to send a shout out to Tanya and thank her for our introduction, because we had such a great conversation in the pre-interview and really getting to know you and who you are and what you do. I think there's going to be a lot of listeners who are going to connect with your story. So why don't you tell us how you got into direct sales, how you got into Juice Plus?
Yeah, absolutely. So my exposure to direct sales actually happened in college, and I did not even know it at the time. I had been with what was the deal? I don't think I had really gotten into the restaurant industry yet. And I had seen an ad in a newspaper for Cutco, it was even. And I had no idea that it was a direct sales company. I didn't know what direct sales was. I didn't know what MLM was, none of that. All I knew was that there was the potential of making money. But the problem is there was, I remember going to trainings, but there was no mentors. There was no team. So I think I went to a couple of houses, gave my presentation, and it just went nowhere. And then that's when I got in the restaurant business. And so then fast forward a couple of years after that, I am now a massage therapist. And one of my longtime massage clients who had been seeing me since I started, so I've been in practice now as a massage therapist for almost 8 years, she had mentioned Juice Plus to me. And it took her a while to kind of just say the words to me that got me excited. And those words were actually, Alicia, it has a nutrition label. And I remember her just giving me this look like, why don't you get it? And I thought, okay, here's something like, why don't I get it? And she's a very trusty, reliable client. And I just thought, okay, I do need to look at this. And so then, it just all of a sudden clicked and made sense. And I became a customer. And 3 years after that, I was approached again with the business end of it, and then found myself in the business.
That is awesome. And so now you've been officially in business with Juice Plus for a little over a year now.
Yes.
What are some of the obstacles that you have encountered during the time that you've been building your business?
Yes, there is. It's just like with any business, Jennie. I mean, there's always going to be obstacles, but there is just something with Juice Plus and with the direct sales industry that it just lights a fire in me. I absolutely love it. I am intrigued by it. There is so much energy with it. It ticks me off if I don't reach, my goals that I have. And so then it just drives me to go after them further. But to answer your question, I think the biggest challenge for me has been to find team that is similar to me. I have the biggest challenge in finding people who are motivated and driven and see the possibilities within the Juice Plus company. I am all in for the highest rank in the company, which is the national marketing director position, because there is a full corporate benefits package with an amazing health insurance package. And I just, as a self-employed massage therapist, my husband is also self-employed and owns an excavation company. That is huge for us. That's really the only stress that we have in our life is health insurance. So this would
Mm.
be humongous for us. So no matter what obstacle I kind of come across, I still have that in the back of my mind. And it's just finding those teammates who are really going to resonate with me, who I can really be a mentor to, who we're just going to be a great match together.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, because since you are newer to direct sales, this is not an uncommon struggle. That is a very common struggle, because especially for someone like you, someone like me, who is very, very driven, self-motivated, which is what makes us great entrepreneurs, right? Because we don't need a
Hmm.
boss to tell us what to do. We actually have to have people tell us to slow down, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure
One
you take
step
some
at a
time.
time.
Yeah, make sure you take some time for yourself there, Alicia. Make sure you take time for yourself, Jenny.
Right.
And finding other people who are like that can be tricky, because so many people are definitely in the employee mentality because that's how they've been brought up. That's how they were brought up to think about the world, pursue the world of work. They were not necessarily brought up to be an entrepreneur. And so I think that really helps if you can find someone who has a desire to get out of the employee mindset and get into the entrepreneurial mindset, because those are two very different skill sets, right?
Yes, by far.
Yeah. So as you've been going through your journey and dealing with these obstacles and building a business while also continuing to work your other entrepreneurial business, your
Hmm.
massage therapy business, and be a mom, how is it that you create, I don't want to say balance, because here's the thing. One of the things I've said over and over again on the podcast is balance is bullshit. It doesn't exist. It's not real, right? So how do you create the feeling of being balanced in your life with all of that going on?
Yeah, it is definitely seeking out exactly what you are going to accomplish in a day. So I have a whiteboard, and on that whiteboard is my Facebook posting plan. On that whiteboard is my to-do list. Like, okay, I need to friend so many people on Facebook. I need to LORD, so many people on Facebook. And of course, that stands for location, occupation, recreation, dreams. There's other acronyms for that as well.
Mhm.
I need to do so many follow ups. I need to do so many connections. And it's really just about sticking to your plan and being consistent with that plan every single day. So every single day, noon is my time to do that. There is no backing down from that. Everybody in my family knows that from noon to 1, do not bother me. This is my 100% power hour focus time.
I love it. And I imagine that just having that 1 hour to work on your Juice Plus business has really made a huge impact on the results that you get.
Yes, and it's the consistency. Like I said, it is 7 days a week. It is no matter what. It is non-negotiable. And when you have that full focus and full intention, and like I said, it's all about too, you got to have that plan written down so that you can check it off, check it off, check it off, so that you stay on track. And even when people are messaging you back throughout that time, that's dedicated to a whole nother hour later in the day. That's during my child's nap time, which again, it's one of
Yeah.
those non-negotiables. Even if we don't get the nap in, or if we do get the nap in, or if somebody wakes up, it doesn't matter. This is what's going on. Mommy is busy doing this, or husband, you got to get your own food, or whatever the case is. Because this is what's going to get us to our dreams. This is what's going to get us that health insurance plan. This is what's going to get us that motorhome that we want to travel across the country in. So, and that's the other thing I think is you need to have your whole family on board, understanding why. Like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why is it so important? What is it going to get you?
Yeah. And it definitely helps to have a supportive spouse or significant other with you, because I think that's probably what holds some people back in direct sales is they've got someone who doesn't believe in it or who thinks it's just a little hobby,
That
right?
is absolutely true. And it's, like I mentioned, I've been in this business almost 15 months. And, my husband is now seeing, especially after I got a comment in my paycheck. Holy shit.
Mhm.
And that
Right?
realization was really, really cool. And then just the other day, he had mentioned, "Gosh, Alicia, I think I need glasses." And I said, "Yeah, you might want to get that checked out." He goes, "I'm gonna wait until you get that promotion and we can get health insurance." And he said it very earnestly, and that made my eyes water because I at that moment knew that he was 100% on board. He's always been supportive, but until that moment, I did not know like how committed he was with me on this, but now I know, and that is an unbelievably awesome feeling.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps hearing it because I love it when there's somebody who just gets it in that way. That's really,
Mhm.
really, really important. And I'm so happy that you have that because it does make a huge difference in how you approach your business because there's no questioning whether or not you're going to do X, Y, or Z as long as it's building your business and your significant other is on board with it, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's super huge. I have a partner under me who her husband is not supportive, and she started out with a ton of fire. She made it to a great rank, and she's stuck. She's not able to get past it, and she's actually starting to go backwards. So
Mm.
it's very sad, and so it's just one of those things. You gotta know exactly what you want. You gotta know your why. You've got to have your whole family involved, and even if your spouse isn't on board yet, if it's steadfast in your mind, you've got to stick with it and stay consistent, talk about it all the time, and they should come on
Yeah.
board with you as far as support goes. It just may take time.
Absolutely. And I have to say when I did start my own direct sales business back in 2010, my husband at the time was supportive. He was like, "Okay, that, you know, I'm willing to see how this goes." And we both committed that I was going to be in this for a minimum of a year to like really make sure that I gave it a good fair shake as a way to make money. And I'd have to say when I took him with me to convention, so I had started my business in September of 2010. I went to my first company convention in July of 2011, and he went with me because I didn't know anybody else. So I was like, please come with me. It'll be a vacation in Chicago for a weekend. Come on, let's go. And so I was like, it's a tax write off anyway, right?
Mhm.
And so I do have to say that when he was there with me, and saw what was going on, saw the training we were receiving. He saw me walking the stage because I had two promotions that I got from the time I started my business till I went to that convention. So I was walking the stage, getting promotion, earning prizes, getting bonus checks and all kinds of fun things. And he went, I get it now.
Mhm.
Like all of a sudden he really seemed to understand it. So I know because we're recording this during shelter in place, I know that Juice Plus probably isn't having an in-person convention, but have you guys had an opportunity to participate in either a virtual one or go to one in person before
Mhm.
everything went down? What was your experience with
Yes.
convention?
Oh, unbelievable. So I went to my very first convention, and that was in Texas, which is one of my all-time favorite states. So I was very pumped about just that fact there.
Mhm.
And the neatest thing was not, the neatest thing was not all like the loud music and all the promotions and all the like the glitz glamour kind of stuff. That wasn't it. What really stood out to me were a couple different things, and the words that I kept hearing on repeat. I mean, everybody loves each other. It is unbelievable. I mean, you just heard, "Oh my gosh, I've been missing you," and "Oh my gosh, I love you," and "Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long." And I mean, it was just honestly the biggest awesomest reunion you ever saw. And the other thing was there was 8,000 people there, and not one this is one thing that when my partner said to me, she goes, "Alicia, I just want you to take a couple minutes and listen." So listen to what? She goes, just listen." So I'm sitting there I'm looking around and I'm listening and I'm not hearing anything except, your basic conversation. Wow, what the heck? So a little bit later, she turned to me, she goes, "So what did you hear?" And I said, "Well, nothing." She goes, "Exactly. Did you hear anybody cough? Did you hear anybody say anything negative? Did you hear anybody like sniffle? Have you seen a Kleenex?" And I'm like, no. So it's one of those things that, yes, we're in the health and wellness field. So we
Mhm.
definitely have that going on. But the other thing is the positive energy and just the power of women and success and intention and focus and purpose when you put your mind to it was amazing. And because of, yes, the shelter in place, our last conference that we had was certainly online. And it was by far, it just could not have been any better. It was such an incredible series of learning tools that they are keeping it up without, taking it down because it was a conference thing. They're keeping it up for training to just have on hand. It was outstanding.
That's phenomenal. That is so good to hear. So, with all of these things going on, what would you say is your secret to direct sales success to have made it as far as you have? Because you're already a sales coordinator, which is what, 3 up from starting? Is that right?
Yeah, so it's partner plus, let's see, what is it here now? Qualifying sales coordinator, and then I'm at sales coordinator. So I'm four from start. And
Okay,
then
there you go.
I have 3, let's see, I have 4 to go to get me to national marketing director.
There you go. So, what would
Yes.
you say is your secret to success so far?
My secret to success is consistency. Honest to Pete, doing it every single day, follow ups. The fortune is truly in the follow up. I have had so much success with follow up. And the other thing that works really great for me are just one on one conversations because people can just feel my energy. So whether that is on the phone or via like voice messenger or
Mhm.
via Zoom, people just seem to grasp my conviction and seem to grasp my enthusiasm. So I would say those are definitely my 3 keys to success. And I've sought out coaches, and that has really helped me to create my action plan that I do every single day, which has really nailed down my consistency, which has perfected my follow-up. And then also just having a positive expectancy of the future. I will get to national marketing director. I will get that health insurance plan. I will have a strong team under me. Just continuing to have certain affirmations like that are really key as well.
That makes perfect sense. I couldn't say it any better, honestly. So really quickly, because I do have to say that the number one area that many of my clients struggle with is follow up. So, what was a big mindset shift for you in terms of, you know, being able to get into consistent follow up, or was it just something that you started from the very beginning already doing?
I was okay or average at the very beginning. And then
Hmm.
once I joined TeamZ and started listening to a couple of Eric's webinars, who's the founder of TeamZ, one thing that really stuck out to me with what he said was you're following up because you care. And if you don't follow up, then you don't care. And I certainly care. And by all means, I want
Hmm.
everybody to understand that I am treating this professionally and I definitely care. And it's not just one of those things where I'm going to reach out to you once. And if you don't answer me, I'm going to let it go. No, I'm going to reach out until I either get a no thank you or yes, make me into a customer or make me into a partner. So
There
it's
you
one of
go.
those things where again, it's the consistency. And I love it that too, he also says most sales don't even happen by the 3rd or 4th follow-up. They happen in like the 9th through the 11th. That is
Hmm.
unbelievable. And it just goes to show that this business is not easy, but it is so worth it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, and here's the thing, nothing that you're expected to do in direct sales is actually hard,
No.
right? It's literally as easy as picking up the phone and making a phone call, or sending a text message, or sending a voice message over Facebook Messenger, right?
Yep.
None of those things is hard. What I think holds a lot of people back is the fact that in order to keep doing business and continue doing well, you you've got to keep doing the work, right? Which is
Yes.
true whether you're in direct sales or any other business,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
teachers
Doesn't matter.
teachers don't get to set it and forget it, right? Like they
Mhm.
still keep teaching, right? So I think that that consistency and understanding the importance of it, and certainly when it comes to the marketing and follow-up aspect, I often hear from people in the marketing world that it takes anywhere from 7 to 12 touches, right,
Mhm.
to get someone from high, the very first time you meet them, to buy, B-U-Y.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah.
Right? 7 to 12. So, I'm sure those numbers, the reason there's a range is because it varies depending on your industry or product or service, right? So going through that process and just knowing that it's going to take 7 to 12 conversations, 7 to 12 touches, 7 to 12, whether it's a conversation about the product or not, but just building relationship with someone over time, it's going to take time. This is not there are no direct sales get rich quick schemes.
Nope.
They don't exist.
Not that are
There's
legal.
Exactly. Very true. So none of it's going to be get rich quick. It's all going to take time. It's all going to take consistency and work. But again, like I said, none of it's actually hard.
Nope.
You
It's
just got to
fun.
find a system that works for you. And it definitely helps if you're a people person, right?
Oh, by far. Yes. A people person. And one thing that I'm really working on is listening more, because I love to just spout off, about, oh my gosh, the fruits and vegetables, we need 7 to 13 and, raw, and oh my gosh, we have vine ripen and we use the whole thing. So I could just go on and on and on. So one of my biggest learning curves has been to reel it in, take it back and listen, or even just,
Mm.
it's not even so much listening sometimes, because a lot of times it's silence on the other end. It's asking questions that will, get their minds thinking that, okay, yeah, wow, I'm not getting enough fruits and vegetables, or I am eating a lot, but they're not doing what they could be doing for me, like these plant powders will do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's just asking the question because people know what they're supposed to be eating or not, right? They
Yes.
know and they still do what they're not supposed to necessarily anyway. But just being able to bring it to their attention and get them to really have that cognitive dissonance so that they actually decide to get into alignment with what they know they should be doing, and it certainly is going to be helpful for them, right? To be able to
Mhm.
have access to the product that you guys offer. So one of the things that I noticed that you have here, because as I'm going through your pre-interview checklist, is you are offering a nice little freebie for people who reach out to you. So if they are not familiar with Juice Plus and want to learn more, what giveaway do you have for them?
Yeah, I have a shaker bottle, and they are some of the nicest shaker bottles. They are sturdy, they are in fun, bright colors, and I'm going to throw in a packet of Juice Plus. Doesn't do free trials or anything like that, but I just have some of my own stash of single serve shake packets that I'm going to throw in there so you can get a little taste of what I absolutely love.
Oh, that is so sweet. Well, that's really cool. So, listener, as you're listening to this, if you've never heard of Juice Plus and if you've never had the opportunity to try any of their things, especially the shake mix, you'll want to reach out to Alicia. Her phone number, she did mention to me that she would prefer that you call or text her. So her phone number is in the show notes. So make sure you do scroll through the show notes, get her phone number, and reach out to her for that free shaker bottle and the free shake mix. So, Alicia, thank you so much for sharing your secrets to direct sales success. Oh my gosh, so many good nuggets in there.
Awesome. It was a blast. Thank you, Jenny.
Absolutely. No. And so, listener, make sure you reach out to Alicia, take advantage of her offer, reach out to her, have a conversation, learn more about the company and what she has to offer for you. And keep in mind, we've got another badass episode coming up next.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.